Matters Arising, a program that critically discusses and analyzes matters of national interest, comes your way every Saturday from 21 hours to 22:15. With just 7 months to the general election, which comes up on the 13th of August 2026, the government of the Upnd has been under scrutiny as regards to the state of governance. Has the state of governance improved under their watch? Have they lived up to the expectation of the Zambian people in the last 4 years? Governance under introspection is our topic of discussion on Matters Arising tonight. I'm your host, as always. My name is Paul Shingongo. My guest tonight, Mweemba, governance expert and former president of the Zambia Union of Financial Institutions and Allied Workers, ZUFAO. He is not a stranger on this show. Mr. Mweemba, warm welcome to Matters Arising and Happy New Year.
Thank you. And Happy New Year to you.
Awesome. The year is okay thus far?
Well, when you look at particularly the rain season, I think this far it has done very well. We are hoping that we are going to continue on this trajectory, because when you look around, you find the maize is tussling, others knee level or just slightly below knee level or above. So it's an indication of good things to come. We are hoping that we, as a country, we can have food security. I think that is what is important.
That has also come with floods, right?
Yes. And of course, when you want the rains, I think those are the repercussions that we always have to come. But what is important is, are we ready to help our citizens when you have such kind of calamities?
Have we handled the floods well?
I think this far we have, yes. We when you look at where we are coming from, I think this year, I think the DMMU, they've done quite well.
Let's get straight into the conversation. Zambia heads to the polls this August, on the 13th of August 2026, under a new law, Act number 13 of the laws of Zambia. Under that, we have new constituencies coming up. Mr. Mweemba, many suggested this wasn't the right time to delimitate some constituencies, looking at the costs and also the state of the economy. Under that law also, we have increased members of parliament to almost 300. Many thought this was an unavoidable cost on our part as a country. Members of parliament, another reform, members of parliament going back to the council, a move some have vehemently criticized. Another reform, we are heading into elections, with is a proportion of seats going to women, the youth, the differently abled, plus many other reforms. I wanted to pick your thoughts on these changes, even as we get closer to the election. All this will be reflected in what will be seen during the course of the year. Is this something that came at a right time, or maybe, like others suggested, some of these could have waited?
Yeah, I think for me the starting point is the last time you hosted me here, I think we had a question to do with the delimitation. And I recall my answer to that was that according to the World Bank report, it indicated that 2022 report, it indicated that the poverty levels in the country were very high. We were standing somewhere around 79, which I felt the only way we can help the citizens, particularly to do away with this kind of poverty, is for us to increase the constituencies. And here is the reason why I said that. When you look at the World Bank report, it came out clearly that under the MMD, the economy was growing at a higher rate, but it lacked inclusivity. Under the MMD, the PF, we lacked both inclusivity and the higher growth. We didn't have that. And I said, for the UPND, what is it that they can learn from this? There is need for them to have a higher growth. At the same time, we need to have inclusive growth. And for me, the only way we can get to inclusive growth of a country is by bringing particularly those that are disadvantaged. And mostly, the people who are disadvantaged in this, it's the women, the youths, and the people in the rural part of the country. Now, it is good that the UPND, they've come up with a policy of decentralization. Because in decentralization, you have a lot of things that are attaching to the grassroots. You have inclusivity itself, you have a creativity, you have sustainability. All these, they speak to issues of bringing the people on board.
The decentralization policy has been there way before UPND came into office. It's not them that are bringing this into effect. This is a policy that has been there even from MMD. They pushed this policy. Patriotic Front pushed the decentralization policy.
If there is no political or any government that have done what the UPND, particularly in terms of resources, the UPND have taken resources to the people. Actually, made, like you are saying, we had 1.6, but the UPND, they've brought 40 million. The impact of this is what is going to... Are we saying
the CDF is... Because CDF is not decentralization. We might be misleading the public out there. CDF is not decentralization. The decentralization policy is not attached to the CDF.
No. The UPND have taken resources to where it matters. You cannot isolate the CDF from the decentralization policy. The decentralization policy, my man, is where you want the people themselves to be in charge. There is no government in this other than the UPND that is allowing the citizens to sit down and say, we want a road here. We want a clinic here.
Many have argued that is just a shift in terms of responsibility. This used to be done by the central government, but now you've moved it from the central government to local government and taken to constituencies.
And that is what decentralization is.
It is the same thing. So you're just moving these resources that used to be managed by central government, taking it to local government. So nothing much.
So it means you are agreeing with me that they have decentralized, because if where we are coming from, things were done centrally. Even the people who were going to inspect these projects are people who were coming from the central government. But this time around, the people who are doing the inspections of these projects are people who are right in these districts or at the council level. So they have brought these issues to help the people. The issue here is that decentralization is about the people themselves making decisions of what they want. I think that is what the UPND has brought. And for me, this, when you answering your question, particularly on the delimitation part, I think for me this came at the right time. The last time I was here, I said it will be responsible for the UPND government, looking at where we are, to not to allow or to accept that the constitution should not be amended, so that we allow the increase of constituencies. So for me, I am happy that at the end of the day, this thing happened. The constituencies.
The consequences that there will be new constituencies that will require new constituency officers, that will require new extra allowances for the new seats for the members of parliament. That should be a drain to our treasury, right, Mr. Mweemba?
The idea here my man, is that we are taking resources.
Cost benefit analysis.
Yes.
You know that you're also spending quite a lot of money on maintaining these offices that you're creating. They come at a cost.
Yes. In the long run, this is going to be a benefit to the communities because we are taking resources right where they actually matter. Okay? In certain areas, my man, people are moving hundreds and hundreds of kilometers to get to where the services are supposed to be given.
But it's not the MP that brings these services. It's not the members of parliament that it's not a job to build clinics, to build hospitals. Their job is to make laws. That's their primary mandate. So it's not the absence of the MP that shows that links the lack of services in these constituencies.
No. What we are talking about here is that this MP, even if it is not his job, by virtue of having this constituency where this person is the MP, we are going to allocate 40 million every year that should go to where he is a member of parliament. So even if it is not his responsibility to do that, at the end of the day, the benefit of having this MP and the allocation of this 40 million to this constituency definitely would have not had this if we did not do this.
But some may argue, Mr. Mweemba, that what can we see in some constituencies with 35 million, 36 million that they've had in the previous year? What have we seen? We can give an example of some constituencies. Some constituencies can tell you that they've never seen a new clinic. They've never seen a new hospital. Where we are right now in this Katua constituency, there's no school that is being constructed, for your information. Despite CDF being around. So one can argue that, look, with the available resources in the last 4 years, some constituencies have never seen a new school, a new hospital being put up, road being set up. Some constituencies right now can confirm that.
And just to come back to the point that you mentioned, that it is not the responsibility of this MP. For me,
it's not their primary mandate.
Yes, but it is supposed to be his responsibility to ensure that he helps these areas grow.
That's not
now.
That's not.
It might not be the primary.
Says yes.
No. Again, we cannot say that is the primary mandate is just to make laws. No, is to help.
They are lawmakers. That's their primary mandate.
Yes, but at the end of the day, they are also supposed to help the communities where they are coming from to grow, and that is why we are saying let's take them back to councils. They should be part of the decisions that are made. So that tomorrow they are not going to say, no, but I was not part of this. And even if they were not part of it, even this time around, we expect them, because they are the ones who were helping to come up with these people who are WDCs. The members of parliament, they were actually in the forefront to say helping to come up with this group. So at the end of the day, it is them that are going to be answerable. What is it that you have done in the last 5 years? This is the amount of money. Just like in the Bible, it is, my man, that you remember the parable of talents? The members of parliament, my man, this time around, as we go, they need to be answerable to the citizens. What have you done that should make us retain you as member of parliament? They should help. We expect them to help in terms of even job creation itself, my man. They can't run away from it.
They should create jobs. These are things, Mr. Mweemba, that makes members of parliament or aspiring members of parliament out there to go and begin to lie to the electors that when I'm elected, I'm going to employ you. I'm going to employ you in the military. These are the statements. Let me finish my thought. These are the same statements that make aspiring leaders to go lie to the people that, look, I'll give you jobs at the national broadcaster, for example, like we saw in the previous election in Chawama, where the UPnd candidate was telling journalists that is going to employ them in the national broadcaster, telling the people in Chawama that is going to employ the youths in the military. That is not a job of the MP. And here you are as a governance expert saying, towing the same line, misleading the public.
Well, I do not know whether this when you look at we go back to the CDF. The CDF, there's a component that speaks to issues to do with infrastructure development. There is a component that it speaks to empowerment of women and youths. I'm a member of parliament. What should be my role to help those people? Mind you, those people do not even have the capacity in areas where they are going. It is my responsibility to ensure. That is why we have seen, I've always here given an example of MP Twambo. Is it Mutinta Twambo? Who, the moment this issue started, the man went for coming up with skills development center. That is what he initiated through WDC. That can we have a skills development center? What is the essence of that? Building capacity in the people within the constituents. Because that money is meant for the people in the constituents. Now, we have this member of parliament who says, can we have a skills development center? He starts building capacity. And after building capacity in these people, he helps, or he actually says, can we have cooperatives?
Are you aware that members of parliament are not part of CDF committees? Are you aware about that?
No, this is what I've told you, that the reason that has come now is that these people are supposed to be part of the council's making decisions of what we want to do. But even then, I've said, the members of parliament, they were very, very active in having these WDCs in their constituencies.
That's not their job. Yeah, that's not their job.
That is not their job, but they have a responsibility to ensure that the people who are going to be put in these positions are going to answer to the problems or the needs of the people where they are. Me, as a member of parliament, I should know the problems of people, the problems that people are facing, like Twambo did. Okay? I expect every constituency this time around, my man, to have a skills development center that should first build capacity, because the issue of CDF, according to the president, was that we have seen a lot of people that are coming from Lusaka to go and build or to go and do things in these rural areas. But when we are going to build the capacity in people, okay, help these people or facilitate that these people should also now be people who are going to form cooperatives. When they form cooperatives and then they start to be involved in the activities of what is happening in terms of building schools, building hospitals in the constituencies, it is going to help the money to start doing what? Circulating in these
Back to my question, Mr. Member. Back to my question, which you haven't answered, and I'd like you to answer it. You are in support of having new members of parliament, like proposed in the law, which we'll see, being implemented this year. My question was, you claim that without this, we will not have development. My question remains, there are some constituencies today, and the viewers out there can tell you that in the last 4 years, they have not seen a school being constructed in their constituency. In the last 4 years, they have not seen a clinic being constructed in their constituency. In the last 4 years, they have not seen a road being tarred. Some viewers can confirm. What then makes it justifiable that we even increase the seats, even increase the amounts, yet from what we've seen, a report was shared not too long ago by the Ministry of Local Government that members of parliament in Lusaka have only utilized 10% of the CDF. 10% of the CDF coming from not the opposition, from the Ministry of Local Government. Why then the justification to even have increased funds and also new seats when what you have had, you've not utilized it correctly?
Now, that is not the problem of a police. It is the problem, I go back again, that we have members of parliament, my man, who's have utilized the CDF very well.
That is not under contention. The contention, okay, Mr. Mweemba, is that we have had members of parliament or we've had constituencies, despite that amount being available in the last 4 years, increased yearly. Some viewers right now will confirm with you, they've not seen a new school. They've not seen a new clinic. They've not seen a tarred road in the last 4 years.
No, this is what I'm saying. But for me, the point is, so it comes back to me as a voter. And that is why I've told you of the parable of talents. I strongly believe the Zambians will have to sit down and ask, why should this member of parliament...
Is it the member of parliament? Remember that it's not the member of parliament that implements this project. It's central government that runs this project. So why should we heap the blame on the member of parliament, who, by the way, does not even sit in the CDF committees?
No. The failure of these committees or the WDCs ultimately will have actually to the back will have to fall on the member of parliament, whether we like it or not. The members of parliament, my man, were involved in ensuring that who is going to be in this committee.
Do you know the process, Mr. Mweemba? Because from most of the MPs that have sat on that seat on this show keep telling me that they're not involved. When the WDCs and the rest of the committee decides on the projects, a report is shared with the MP. He's not involved in deciding. He doesn't control the projects.
Now,
once the people in the constituency agree, he receives the report. And central government, local government now, funds. So why then do you want to heap this blame on the individual members of parliament who do not release the money? It's not them releasing the money.
You know that most of these, the MPs that, like I was saying, where this thing, there is a failure or people are not using or utilizing this, you will find that most of them are people probably who are just bent on sabotaging the system. Okay? Because I'll give you an example of Chawama. Okay? One of the reasons why Chawama, we could not see things move in there, was that people are saying, if you are going to go ahead and implement this, build the infrastructure that is supposed to be built in these areas. At the end of the day, the UPND are going to come back and start pointing to say, have you seen what the CDF, the police that we brought, what it is doing?
What of constituencies where there are UPND MPs? And I've given you an example of where we are. Katuba. There's a UPND MP, the Central Province Minister. Ask the people in this constituency whether they know of any school under construction in the last 4 years. A constituency that has a UPND MP. Ask them if they know of any hospital being constructed in the last 4 years.
I have not followed Katuba.
It's just an example of a constituency where a UPND MP is. And there are many others right now that will tell you of the similar experience. In the last 4 years, the MP is from the ruling party. But despite the increased allocation of CDF, they have not seen a new school. They've not seen a tarred road. They've not seen a new clinic. Where's the blame then?
You see in some of these, again, you find that who are the council chairpersons, where they are coming from. They also have a hand in this. Who are the council chairpersons? Okay? You will find that at the end of the day, like the example you were giving about Lusaka, the council is in whose hands? Lusaka. The council is in whose hands? So it is now where you should bring it that this you can sabotage if you want to sabotage.
What of those where even the council chairperson is from the ruling party? And I've given you examples, Mr. Mweemba. Where's the problem?
I do not know the real problems in those areas.
And there are many, by the way.
No, but again...
I'll give you an example, Mr. Mweemba. When the immediate past local government minister, Garin Kombo, was fired, our staff up in Southern Province filed us a report, a reporter at the bureau in Southern Province filed us a report where people were celebrating. And the report showed the people complaining that bridges were not done, roads were not done, nothing has been seen. And this was a man in charge of local government in Mazapuka. And that's just an isolated case. There are many others right now that the viewers can confirm.
Again, when you look at the roads, maybe probably that is another thing that we need to look at, my man, is that when you look at these roads, it's not all the roads that are supposed to be done under the Ministry of Local Government, and some roads are supposed to be done by RDA. So you'd find probably you are complaining of the road that is not supposed to be handled under local government. This is a road that is supposed to be done under the RDA. They are the ones who have not done that road. So at the end of the day, definitely, you as an MP, because at some point, like the argument we had, it is your responsibility to go and push for those that why is this thing not done? Okay? So sometimes some of these things, when they are not done like that, maybe the road in question is not the road that is categorized that is supposed to be under.
What do you make of the underperformance of some members of parliament or the lack of development? What can we attribute the lack of development in some constituencies in this country in the last 4 years with this increased allocation of CDF? Where is the problem? Because if you move around the country, and I'm sure you do, I do, some constituencies are still underdeveloped. We had, not too long ago, on one of our programs on Daybreak, a former DC in Milengi indicating how bad the constituency or underdeveloped the constituency is. They have to go to Mansa to access most of the services. And yet, CDF is there.
So for me, like I said, this year is the year when MPs are supposed to be answerable to the Zambians.
Where do you think, my question, where do you think is the problem?
So, obviously, the problem we are going to attribute that probably the man just doesn't know what he's supposed to do. Because if the man knows what he is supposed to do, he is supposed to drive the agenda of ensuring. And for me, I'll tell you that in 4 years, to have 2,800 classrooms built 1 by 3, I'll tell you that yes, we should have done probably much better than this, but I think this is commendable for me. We have not talked about the issues to do with the clinics, but just the Ministry of Local Government, what this far, the classrooms 1 by 3 that have been built in this period, 2,800. For me, I do not think that is a mean achievement, my man.
Are you aware that some constituencies have no idea of what you're talking about?
Yeah, so...
Are you aware about that?
This is why...
They're just hearing, they have not seen it in their constituency.
No, but these things are there. These things are there, my man.
But it's a people, so if they're there on paper, they should also be there in the constituencies, and the people should be able to confirm.
No, but I mean, the mere fact, like you have brought it that in Lusaka this thing has not worked, does not mean that everywhere it has not worked.
I've given an example of Milengi. I've given an example of Mazapuka.
But can I also give you an example? If you just go, you are going to Mongo, my man. Just the time when you just reach, you are in Mweemba, going the other side there, Luampa, you are in Kaoma, just to see what CDF has done. It's a marvel, my man, too. Okay? So the mere fact that this thing, again, it goes back to the point I've told you, that have we built capacity, or we were just rushing to start doing things?
So maybe
okay.
would you agree with some stakeholders that have gone further to submit that government, possibly in the 2026 national budget, was not supposed to increase CDF allocation to 40 million because look at the failure of implementation in some constituencies. And the example properly given is that of Lusaka, where 10% absorption rate. But away from that, you are also aware that some components in CDF were even halted, like the loan component, because people are getting the loans and not paying back. Our Republican vice president had to speak on this in the National Assembly, indicating that we are halting that component. Do you agree with some stakeholders who have said, look, possibly the president or government in general is not supposed to increase the allocation until all these issues are handled?
The beauty with this, my man, is that even if the money has not been used, that is not to say that money is not going to go for the intended purpose. And I want to come back to the issue of the parable of talents. The members of parliament, you were given this much. Tell us what you have done. Why should we have you back as an MP again? For me, that would be very critical for the Zambians. It is not the problem of a policy. It is the problem of the person that you sent to go and help you in parliament.
We've established, you and I have established that that's not their primary responsibility.
No, it is not their primary responsibility, but it still falls on them. They have a responsibility to ensure that those areas
Maybe we should blame local government or central government for failure to bring development in the constituency. When the funds are available, projects are submitted. Where's the problem? Why should we blame someone who is supposed to make laws? Of course, lobby. They've lobbied that, look, we need a clinic. They've lobbied. Those projects are approved, and yet nothing is being done. Possibly we should shift the blame to central government or local government.
No, I mean, the capacity building, for me, I think it should not only be in the constituencies. We should also have capacity building even at the local government level. In those councils, have we built enough capacity for us to help the people in those areas? I think that is important to move in that direction. But to answering your question, for me, the issue particularly of delimitation, I'm very happy that it had to go through. This country, we can't afford to have 75 or 77, more above 70% poverty levels. We need to ensure that we go down, particularly the issue of helping, empowering the women, empowering the youths, also building capacity in the people in the rural areas to be the ones who are driving the agenda of building these classroom blocks, of building the bridges, of building the clinics. They are the ones, so that the money is circulating in the constituency. It will help the country to move in that direction.
Indeed. In case you're just joining us on this edition, we look at governance under introspection. My guest is Mweemba. He's a governance expert. You can be a part and parcel of the conversation. We're coming to you live on our various platforms: Topstar, GoTV, DSTV, Zuku, as well as Star Times, but also, as per custom, coming to you also live on our social media handle. That's Prime TV. That's on Facebook. Go there and drop in your comments. I can see quite a number of feedback on our Facebook page. You can also do the same. Later on, we should also be able to open the phone lines for you to be able to also be a part and parcel of the conversation. Mr. Mweemba, when we talk about governance, a key component under governance that we cannot run away from is the opposition. They play an integral role in ensuring that the whole cycle of our governance system is working. At this point, with 7 months going to the polls, do you think, as a governance expert and a keen observer, do you think right now as we speak, we have an opposition that has a capacity to unseat the ruling government in case the people decide or think so?
Well, politics, my man, is war. And the war is not won on the battlefront. You win any war in the boardroom.
War is not won on the battlefront.
No.
It's in the boardroom.
It's in the boardroom. When Hitler was planning the war, what the man would do is to go in the boardroom. He lays the papers on the table and he then starts planning. You win any war by how much you are going to do the planning. What you go and do on the battlefront is what you have prepared in the boardroom. That is why I say the war is won in the boardroom.
Not at the battlefield.
Not at, yes. So even in this case, unless the opposition, they are still holding on to their plan of what they want. Because, again, war is deception, my man.
War is deception.
Again, you win any war, you are going to win it through deception. So, could it be that probably the confusion that we see in the opposition is stage managed? So that you make your opponent go astray. Because it's important also not to be read that this is what you want to do. Are they still holding on to their cards that they want to unleash when there will be no time for the opponent or for the ruling party to respond? If what is there right now is anything that we are going to go by, then yes, the opposition is an integral part of governance, but I do not see that currently there is any strategy that you can tell that this strategy it is going to unseat the government.
Right now,
no. But now
you don't see the opposition right now being able to unseat the ruling.
No, it is not possible. It is not possible with what is there right now.
Some viewers right now would argue with you and say, look, Mr. Mweemba, were you not in the country when you saw this same opposition defeat the ruling party in Chawama? Or possibly you're not aware of what happened 7 months to elections, despite being confused, despite being divided, as people have said. This same confused opposition managed to beat highly financed campaign team of the ruling party in Chawama. Others have gone further to say that is a correct picture of what is about to happen even in August. What's your thought?
I mean, politics being what it is, my man, when the opposition lose, they will tell you that we have lost because the ruling party, they rigged the elections, or because ECZ is run by people that are UPND. They win Chawama, they don't point fingers at those things. Okay? It is not the first time that the opposition they've won.
In an election year? In an election year? That should not be trivialized, right?
No. No. You can't trivialize that, my man. It can't, and I do not think it would be right to base the loss of Chawama that you want to base it on. No, my man. You and me, we know that where was Kaunda known that this is where he comes from. All of us, we knew that Kaunda was associated with Chambalakare farm. Chiruba, it was Musangu village. Okay? Arabi, it was the farm, I've forgotten the name. Sata, it was the Chitulika village. Okay? You agree with me? HH, we know it is Wengwa. Tell me the village where you are going to associate ECL with. There is no village apart from Chawama. So to think that you can go in Chawama and defeat someone in his own village, I think, my man, you are expecting a lot. That is number one. Number two, FDD, that there are the footprints in there. The person who was the special purpose vehicle that was used there was FDD. And FDD, in Chawama, there are the footprints. It was not a new political party that you took there. Okay? Yes. Also, even the UPND itself, my man, just the mere fact, my man, that you have TK as a person that has been, you are adopting. Then at the 11th hour, you want to come and say, no, we are going for Morgan Munda. The question you should ask yourself
is... don't know TK.
Yeah, is it Timothy?
Katenga.
Katenga. Yes. Okay, you adopt this person at the 11th hour. You go for this the person who I don't know whether how he performed during the primary elections. Then you go for this person. The question you should ask yourself, my man, is that how did Katenga, TK himself take that? How did he take that situation? Did he participate to help, or he stayed away?
He was there. Or the campaign.
What about the people? It is possible that I can just take myself there.
He was there with his team throughout.
It is possible
and yet he still lost.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That just the idea of adopting this person, you go for someone who was not voted during the primary elections. It is
they're
also
still from the same party, so that is immaterial, right? That should be mature because they're both from the party. So who you choose is not as important. Right?
No, the people at the end of the day, there's someone who they wanted. Had it not been for the problem that was there, the people wanted it.
Are you saying that because the UPND chose Morgan Munda, that's the reason they lost?
No.
That's one of the reasons they lost?
No. I've
if it was TK, you'd have won?
No. If you remember, I said, first and foremost, that is ECAO's village. That was my first point.
Not in the literal sense, though, but yeah.
Yes. Number two, I said FDD had the footprints there. Okay? And besides that, PF also, that was their seat. So there are a lot of the reasons, my man. Two, like you were saying, you said in an election year, people said it's possible that people could have said no. I mean, we are remaining with the 7 months. Why change it? They stayed away. Okay? So for me, using Chawama as a barometer that this government has lost a popularity, I do not think.
But if truly the opposition is divided, if truly the opposition is confused, like has been described by especially the Upnd, that there's no patriotic front to even talk about, you should be able to see, even in the elections that they participate, it should reflect the confusion. The confusion should reflect in the results. Even if it's a bedroom of ECL, the confusion that they have, the fights, infightings, and that's at the same time when there were suspensions, PF being chucked out of Tonse, same period. It should reflect in the results, but the results are showing something else.
No. This is what I'm saying, that other than the strength of the opposition, was UPND in the right frame of where they at their best? I think that is what I'm okay. For me, just the idea, my man. I'm the elections chairman. I go and conduct elections, or the process of coming up with a candidate. What is it that I've missed for me to have brought this confusion of saying, no, we are not going to go, oh, this is our candidate. At the 11th hour, I come and say, no. We have changed from this candidate to this candidate. You have told me that, no, the other guy, TK, was there throughout and all that kind of thing. If you asked for my honest opinion, my man, I'm in that shoe. Between the FDD candidate and the Munda, who do you think I can want to go for?
Who?
Okay? If I'm TK, I would want to go for the opposition.
Why?
Because I know that it will be very difficult for me to be adopted in the next 7 months if this guy from the same party is going to win.
Selfish reasons. That's a selfish mentality.
A human being, my man, is selfish. Don't run away from that fact. A human being, my man, is a selfish animal. So
maybe speak for yourself. Others would say they are not selfish.
I've said the human being. You might not be selfish, but the general part of who a human being is selfish, my man.
So you think TK celebrated that loss?
Maybe you said the man was involved throughout.
So from what you're saying, Mr. Mweemba, you don't see the opposition performing well to the point of unseating the UPND come August 13th?
We, as a country, also we have a history, my man, that probably, again, it is possible we are changing it this year. But from where we are coming from, particularly from the time the multipartyism actually was introduced in this country, we have a way of changing. Okay? In 1991, when we had the elections, Going into 1996, Kaunda wanted to come back. He did not manage. The person who came number 2 was Mweemba. We looked up to Mweemba that he was going to be the next president. Mweemba did not reach 2001. The person who came number 2 was Anderson Mazo. We looked up to Anderson that he was going to be the next president. Unfortunately, the man died in 2006. In 2006, we had the Sata. He's the one who came number 2. We looked up to Sata as the next president.
Hello?
He became president in
Hello?
2011. Okay? We thought Bwezani was going to stand in 2016. He did not. The person who became number 2 in 2016 was HH, and we looked up to HH as the next president. In 2021, he was given them. So I do not see Zambians changing, especially that the man who wanted to also participate in the elections was ECL. If you see, this is the history that we have been doing. Okay? ECL is not going to be there. Definitely, the Zambians, out of the confusion that we have, the Zambians will look up to one person who they will start building capacity in for future.
Right now, there's no face you can point to as one that can come out.
No, for now, I mean, you remember that Calabar was the third, okay? But history tells us that in 2001, Sata was not anywhere near. He was not even third, okay? But probably because Andy, who was second, was not there to participate. Christon Tembo, who was also third, was not there to participate. So we saw Sata, who was just from somewhere coming to take over. So it is to say Karaba is going to be the one who is going to take the second slot. It will be wrong.
Why?
It is possible there can be someone who is going to come from somewhere.
Who do you think? From what we've seen, 7 master elections, many faces have...
No, but we have not seen, because everyone, these political parties, as we stand now, they are still in, okay, there is this Tonse, they are about to conduct their elections. We don't know who is going to emerge victor there. We have the issue also where there is Lubinda. Yes, we don't know how he is going to happen there. We have the issue to do with Makebi, also wants the position to stand. We don't know. So we are to say now this is where the Zambians will look to say, no, I think this one is much better than this one. It is still the confusion.
Some political commentators have argued to say, look, they have decided who they will not vote for. They're just waiting to see who they will vote for. And the person they've decided not to vote for is President Hakainde Hichilema.
I think for me that is an insult to the Zambians.
Why?
There is no way Zambians, from where we are coming from, my man, it's been showing how we have been progressing as a society.
Other countries have shown us presidents, staying for one term.
Yes. Yes.
So meaning that can also happen in Zambia.
It is possible that can happen in Zambia.
Even this
but
year,
you should understand, my man, that if you follow again from where we are coming from, when we, as Zambians, we were making a decision that we are following Chiluba. Chiluba had a track record that no one could doubt. It became an institution he became an institution on his own. So even when we were putting him, Chiluba had already made that name. Michael Sata, where we are coming from, we reached a stage in this country, my man, when Michael Sata is addressing or he's being interviewed on Let the People Talk. People in the streets, the taxi drivers, at that point, my man, they stop and open the doors of their taxis. And they put the volume, everyone is. Tell me, today, Karaba, you go and put him, he's going to be on Let the People Talk. People behave in that manner. I've told you that unless there is another strategy that we are yet to see, that we saw even...
That's a wrong barometer to use. To use that, and
No. The point I'm trying to drive to is the issue of having these people at some point when we are voting them, they are an institution on their own. Even HH in 2021, it was he was an institution other than the political party, but the man on his own was an institution.
People have said the same about Brian Mundubile. People have said the same about Makebi. People have said the same about Given Lubinda, for example.
That is an institution. Makebi, you. Are we in the same country? How can you say Makebi is an institution? Makebi, first and foremost, Makebi, out of the people, the three, Mundubile, Given Lubinda, and Makebi, Makebi is the worst of the three. There is one thing, my man. As long as Makebi, that body of ECL remains there, it will be associated with Makebi. That you should understand. That the confusion surrounding that is Makebi. Maybe when you talk of Mundubile, okay? And for me...
So Makebi is the worst from
Makebi
the three?
Is the worst of the three.
From the three?
The three, actually. There is nothing that Makebi is going to do. You settle on Makebi, you are wasting your time. Okay? In terms of wasting now, the second one is Given. The way he has handled the to bring problems in the party, he has divided the party more instead of uniting. The man is actually, all he's centered is that he wants to become president. He is firing any dissenting view. You are going to be suspended, you are going to be expelled. He's the second. And that leaves Mundubile. The only problem that he might have is the vehicle he is about to use. And the problem is that it is possible that the man, yes, will go with just a fraction of people coming from PF. And that is why I'm saying it is not possible for him, my man, that he can move from wherever, from zero. Even in Karaba, when you talk of that, it's even better because he had 23. So we can say Karaba, he's moving from 23,000 to where? Or 24,000 to where? But him, it's the first time. I do not think, I know Zambians, my man. There's no way Zambians can make a decision that a new person who they don't know.
Well, they can't say they don't know Mundubile. You can't say they don't know.
Mundu, who is he?
He's an MP. He's been an MP for some time.
That's all we can talk about.
He was minister. He was provincial minister.
That's all you can talk about.
He was leader of the opposition, equivalent to cabinet minister.
No, but who tells you that when you are cabinet minister, then it means you are supposed to be...
No, that means people can't say that they don't know you.
No. We knew him as a minister. We didn't know him. At the time when he was a minister, did we say this one, did he tell us that he had the presidential ambitions? No. So, knowing him now, it is now when we are going to start knowing him. It is now when we are going to start gauging him. Can he make a good leader? Okay? It is now when we are going to do. We did it, my man. Sata was when you look at positions that Sata held at a time when he started a political party. You cannot compare with Mundubile. But Sata only managed one MP. Okay? It was in the second round or the second time that Sata now had to move to become a force. So even him, we have just known him now. We don't know how many MPs we are going to give him. Maybe it is in the second where we are going to say, no, I think we have seen the tenacity with this guy. Let's go with him. Not now. For me, when you look at even just what the UPND have done, I do not think that they have reached a stage where you can say, these people, they should be removed. I've never seen any...
Some have questioned what he has done, what the UPND have done.
My man, tell me any president in this country who had target.
Mr. Mweemba, some have questioned, what the UPND have done when statistics show that over 50% of the Zambians are poor. According to Zamstats, 60% of the Zambian population live on less than $1 a day. 78% rural poverty. And numbers, like you know, do not lie. Cost of living for a family of 5 is over 11,000, with an average income of a nation standing at around 5,000. What can we say when the numbers are speaking against them?
When you are a doctor, my man, they bring a patient who you take straight to ICU. The first thing that you need to do is to resuscitate that person. When you have resuscitated the person, it will be easier for you to administer the drugs that you need to give that person. So, when you have managed to resuscitate that person so that you start giving him the medicine that he needs, it will be wrong for you to say there is nothing that you have done. This economy, my man, was in ICU. The first thing that the government needed to do was to resuscitate it. We know of governments in 1933, when Franklin Roosevelt took over in America, that economy was in ICU. The first thing that he did was to resuscitate. And that economy only peaked, my man, in 1943 or 1944. All this period, he laid the foundation. By 1933, my man, the American economy had lost, in terms of exports, 61%. But between 1934 and 1939, the man had gone out to sign 15 trade policies, memorandum with different nations, so that he can resuscitate the issue of exports. When we look at the Chinese, when the CPC party took over in 1949, from 1979, the reforms that they started doing, my man, by 1989, there was an uprising in China. Why? Because people were not happy with the way things were done. Did the government stop what they were doing? They remained focused. By 2002, all of us will woke up and say, what is it that...
But they don't have all the time. You know that we go for elections every 5 years. So some things are expected to be seen, some improvements. Otherwise, you will go the route of other countries of being in office for one term. Malawi just here is a perfect example. So politicians also need to realize that the Zambians can't wait forever. Otherwise, they might not see what is in the offing. They are seeing the numbers, and the numbers don't seem to be working. So if they feel you're not doing well, they can even chuck you out of office.
That's what I'm saying. For me, I'll tell you that I know Zambians, the way they operate. The MMD left this country, the GDP was at 28 billion. The PF, when Upnd was taking over, my man, the GDP was 21 billion. Have you seen what we lost? Okay? That's why I've said the first thing that you do when you take over is to resuscitate. And when you look at what the Upnd have done...
They've been resuscitating for the last 4 years and a half.
Yes.
With no improvements whatsoever in terms of numbers.
No.
In terms of numbers.
But the GDP, my man, as we are speaking now...
Cost of living has been going high every year.
But that is where you need to understand that...
Cost of goods and services. And these are things that people... Our brothers and sisters in Kalingalinga will not appreciate the graphs in as much as they're important.
No.
They want to see a reduction of the prices, and they can't see that.
That is an insult to the Zambians, that they are not interested. The Zambians should be interested in the graphs, because that is what is going to...
In the last 4 years, those graphs have not helped reduce the price of cooking oil. In the last 4 years.
But we have
the cost of living has been going up.
I'll tell you, my man, me, I've lived on the Copper Belt. I've lived on the Copper Belt from 1996 to 2018. One of the things that I'll bring to you is the issue of mealie meal. From November up to February, on the Copper Belt, mealie meal is a problem. Has been a problem. But this year we have not heard that. Okay?
We just started the year.
I've said from November. From November to February. Okay? So this problem we should have had if it was these other years. But this year it has not been there. Where do you want to attribute that? The 3.7 million tons of maize that was produced last year. Okay? Tell me which president in this country, my man, gave himself targets. This man is saying by 2030 we are targeting 3 million tons of copper. Okay? Just now we are waiting for the Ministry of Mines to tell us. It is possible that this year we might even we have hit, last year we have hit 1 million tons. Now, if we have hit 1 million tons, and it could be the problem, the reason why we are having the improvement in the exchange rate. Okay? Tell me which president in this country, my man, who gave himself a target of 10 million tons by 2027.
Every other president has a target. Maybe not that particular target, but every other president.
Yeah, but their targets were helping Zambians. Okay?
Are you saying all the presidents we've had it's only a church that has been a good president?
No.
Is that what you're insinuating, Mr. Mweemba?
No, in fact, that is one thing that I've seen amongst the Zambians. They don't want it to be like that. My man, when you look at Elijah in the Bible and Elisha, okay? Elisha did 7 wonders. Elijah, who mentored Elisha, okay? So Elijah, who mentored Elisha, had 7. Elisha himself had 14. That is not to say, now, I've seen amongst Zambians, they fear to say, this president who comes should not be better than those. No. My man, if HH is going to equate himself with Kaunda, then he's not a good president. Chiruba should do much better than Kaunda. That's what leadership is all about, my man. And Mwanawasa should do much better than Chiruba. Arabi should do much better than Mwanawasa. And Sata should do much better. That's the way it should be. It is only ECL who destroyed what those others created. Okay?
ECL destroyed.
My man, I've told you that in 2011, the GDP of this economy was 28. The man, when he was handing over power, the GDP was 2021. HH has brought it, it is now at 28. Okay? So, this issue, my man, don't feel shy to say HH is better than it is. And HH should do much better than all the presidents.
So HH has done better than all the presidents?
For me, tell me which president has ever, who has ever had a target. I've appeared here where I've said in 1972, Botswana came to buy animals from us. Today they are exporting to Europe. HH comes, he says, no, we need $1 billion of beef. We need $1 million of wheat. We need 1 million tons of wheat. We need 1 million of tons of soybeans. 10 million. This is what we need. The man has given, he says, no. Now, if you look at what is happening in health, my man, we have a plant that is going to be producing more than 750 medicines and drugs. Who has ever done that? Go to Mwense, there's a bridge that is being done, taking into the other country there. So that we have economic activities.
Mr. Mweemba, I've got 10 minutes to wrap up. And just before I wrap up, let me get 2 calls or so, 2 or 3 calls depending on time. The number is on your screen, 0776409840. My guest is Mweemba, governance expert, discussing governance under introspection. You can give us a call. Please ensure that you go straight to the point. Immediately pick your call, just indicate your name and straight to the point under a minute so that we can accommodate 2 or 3 or so depending on time. You can give us a call. We can also read out some of your messages that are on the page. Go on our Facebook platform, that is Prime Television Zambia. Drop in your questions, comments, or contributions. Before we wrap up, we should be able to read out your name and where you're calling us from, and get straight to the point.
Good evening.
Evening.
Yes, Eric, Eastern Province. Hello?
Like we said, go straight to the point once we pick your call.
Okay. In number 1, chamene ngakambe vamene alukamba awo tulumvera koma asachite toilet na political party amene abwera. Lapa for example, NCP sio zozivika. After PF ya joinana na NCP vanakwanisha kuwina MP. Va PF vatenga FDD eze kusanga. Vabolo wina MP. So chamene ninga kambepo mkozi, don't tolerate na kutati no ma political party kuibe. Political party ni maganizo ya muntu. So muzienda pa ground kucheki na madandaulo ya wanu. Vantu vadandaula chani, yetu chamene ninga pembeko, UPND sankalilepo, because kuno kwisi province. Zibe mine ni family. There's no many people family is involved such a fundo. So make sure fanika work hard, chipani stikana, UPND estabu maningi. Vitu vinangu estabu ino. Iwa pasa wantu tumaloni, bwanji, sisi sanka. Koma kufamily, sawa pasa maloni. So chamene chokuno kwisi province, chakumudisa wantu, including my civil servant.
Thank you.
So please, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. For calling. You can also be a part of the conversation. Give us a call 0776 409 840. That is the number you are calling. You go straight to the point, indicate your name, where you're calling us from, and go straight to the point under a minute so that we can accommodate other callers. Mr. Mweemba, some asking that you've spoken so well. Maybe you can take some water.
Thank you, my man. You are reminding me of like exactly the way he did that when we had Adam on TV.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, I'm calling you from Chirombo.
Your name?
Yes. I am Jenny Sonda calling you from Chirombo.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to answer argue with the one who is there on the panel concerning the UPND. The problem with UPND, you like to appreciate yourself. Yeah. And then, don't think that there's no opposition. Who told you that there's no opposition? Just because you are there and you are managing, you think everyone is managing. Just because you are under HH, you think everyone is under HH. No, that's not the way. People have got their own views. And you can't say they can't vote for this one, Makebi is useless. And you know the problem, what do you want Makebi to do? Is it the one of the body? So, don't just hate people just because you are supporting someone. We are seeing what is happening, and you can't support blindly. If you're happy with what they are doing, that's your opinion. Even other people have got other opinions to follow.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Msonda. Let's get two more calls. We've got 5 minutes or so to wrap up. Let's get two more calls. 0776 409 840. That's the number you are calling us on. Like you've seen, just very brief, straight to the point. We appreciate that aspect. Your name, where you're calling us from, and get straight to the point.
Yeah, this is Uncle K from Mungu.
Go ahead.
Uncle K.
Go ahead with your contribution or question.
Yes, I want to talk. I think it has to be artists as Zambians. For now, the government is doing very fine. It's only that some of the like MPs, councillors, mayors, they don't deliver according to what people expect. The monies are there. CTF is very good, but I think let's have capacity in councils. The monies come through councils. Councils don't have capacity. Let's give time to. You should appreciate what is doing. CTF has brought a lot of development, like skills and everything. It's not that maybe councils in short, they are failing to manage the CDF funds. That's what I will comment. But for now, let's support this government. Try to do everything possible that we alleviate poverty from Zambians. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Uncle K, for being part of the conversation. We get one last call. 0776 409 840. 0776 409 840. You're through to Matters Arising. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Please reduce the volume on our TV set. You're through to the show.
Hello?
Your name and where you're calling us from?
Isaac calling just from within Lusaka.
Go ahead with your contribution or question.
Yes, please.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, please. I would just like to ask the one who's on the panel there to be very realistic with what he's saying. First and foremost, he's comparing himself to PF and some other parties, that they are better. They have done better. Let him tell us what UPND has done in terms of infrastructure, more than the Kazungula Bridge, more than the Lusaka International Airport or Kaunda International Airport, which is called the Sausage Airport by UPND. So they should have a better airport than what PF did, and some other infrastructure. You see, the problem with UPND is that they started by verifying PF, like PF did nothing. So they start comparing with a party, themselves with a party which is said to have done nothing. But then we have certain things which we can see. So we'd like them to also show us better things which they have done, like the bridge, okay, the Lusaka International Airport, the hospitals which are there. They should also tell us to say, no, see, we have done a better hospital than this, better hospital than this, a better bridge than this, the biggest things which we have seen which PF did. Instead of just telling them they did nothing, they have done better.
Thank you.
Well, let's hear from him maybe. If he can approach the matter from that angle, we would appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Isaac is our last caller. Let me quickly read out a few messages on the page, even as you conclude with your response to some of the callers. Likolo Mweemba says, Mr. Mweemba, you are also a big machine. Keep it up. James Chisuro says, when you receive a patient with critical condition, you take that person in ICU. The first thing is to resuscitate the person. And when the condition is better, you move them out of the ICU. Then the treatment follows. The man is real in explaining. Even the Kwacha has since appreciated. Chinza Ham says, great political analyst, Mr. Mweemba. Says, watching from Mafken. Traiwa Matanga says, good evening, Mr. Paul and Mr. Mweemba. I agree with both of you. Example of Honorable Member of Parliament for Kanchiwia, Sande Chanda, has done a lot in his constituency, meaning he understands how to go about it within his mandate. Mwinga Makata says, the major reason why there's CDF failure in Lusaka is due to the civic center workforce being overwhelmed with a number of constituencies. Joseph Machishi says, poor in Lusaka, outside every constituency, they've built something there. In Lusaka, you just love politics. So the reason why we don't have much in Lusaka from CDF, according to Joseph, is that we love politics. Mambo HQ says, good evening, Paul. Keep asking the difficult questions. These are some of the people following through on the page. But let me allow you to respond. I've got very few minutes. Directors will have to move me out of the studio, soon. But yeah, let's get your response to some of
I think maybe let me start with the last caller. Yes, you will have also probably just to help me as we.
Yes.
I think the point that according to the caller, is saying what is it that the UPND have done. First, my starting point in answering him is that the issue of borrowing, there is nothing wrong with the issue of borrowing. The PF, when they were going out to borrow, what they wanted to do was to enhance economic development. They wanted to improve the standard of living of the people. But the question we should ask ourselves, did they do that? Okay? The PF, they borrowed, and I've said this, and I'll say it again, that the infrastructure that we saw under the PF with the amount of money that they borrowed, for me, I do not think you can relate it to what they have done on the ground. The PF borrowed heavily, and the PF, with the money they had, they would have actually done much better than what they just gave us. You do not expect the UPND to go out there, because they've not gone out there to borrow the way the PF did borrow. The UPND, the first thing that they have done is to work out on the issue of the debt by ensuring that it is restructured, which we should say they have done well for us to move in that direction.
In the interest of time, yes.
However, when I look at the economic model of the PF of ECL and the economic model of HH, for me, I'll tell you that economic model of HH is far much better than ECL's model, because ECL model was going to build these things that are there on top, which we need.
It's not like we didn't need the airport. It's not like we didn't need the Kasungula bridge. It's not like we didn't need the bridges.
We needed those things, my man. But I'll tell you that the economic model of the UPND of going to the grassroots to go and give them first
without
the
visible infrastructure.
Why are you saying there's no invisible infrastructure? People are just telling you that when you move out of Lusaka, when you look at what CDF has done, it's a marvel to watch. Go to Kanchivia, I just forgot. If you go to Kanchivia, where the absorption rate is very high, okay, and the man who was instrumental there is the MP himself, okay, which I was talking about when I was, yes. Yeah. So even in this, the UPND's model of going ground to the ground to have a clinic first, so that people do not move long distances, to have a primary school, so that people, they don't go into issues where they are going to have problems, where to have maybe classrooms and all that kind of thing. It's a better model because it is moving from down going up.
Thank you, Mr. Mweemba. Just a quick response to our caller from Chibombo talking about Makebi. He's not the owner of the body. He was just an unofficial spokesperson. So you're speaking on behalf. So if the family does not want you to say anything more, who are you? You just keep on waiting?
My man, one of the roles, you are a legal person. One of your role is to advise me when I come to you.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not forcing you to take my advice. It's up to you.
It's up to you, but in this whole thing, there's no, my man, tell me. You, on one hand, you want to say I'm the spokesperson. On the other hand, using the same body that you are saying you are just getting instructions, you want to be a president of a country. No.
What's the connection?
Tell me, Chirufya Tayari told us that this man was actually anointed before the man died. Things are coming out now.
Those are things that people say that
no, but you can't.
Mr. Mweemba, we can't bring them here.
The issues of Kachasu, my man, you can't run away from them. But the point I'm trying to drive to is, yes, my sister might want Makebi to be, but as long as Makebi is going to be associated with that body, for me, he should have actually declined to be the spokesperson if he had presidential ambitions.
What's the connection? I'm failing to understand the connection
between
his own political life and him being used as a spokesperson.
No, but the political life, my man, the interpretation out there, and I want my sister to know that this is what people are saying, that this person wanted to use the body. Okay? Makebi, even if it is not the way it is, because of Makebi, who was the spokesperson there, people are seeing Makebi that he wants to use Ichitumbi to rise to the presidency of our country. So I'm sorry my sister might not want it, but that is how people are viewing Makebi. And even if Makebi is going to be on the ballot, that is what people will be saying. We may want to defend, to say, no, the man, he has his own way of things because he is just a spokesperson. He's even challenging people, what is the role of a spokesperson? No. My man, if he wanted to be president of this country, the man should have declined and given the role to someone else so that people are not... Because as it is now, my sister should know that people, this is what they have. She may want to crucify me, but me, I'm now actually... just someone who is showing him what people are saying on the ground.
Yeah, she's also from the ground.
If she has not picked this, then she has serious problems. If she has not picked what I'm telling you, that no, you can't come from
We have
there.
different schools of thoughts, Mr. Mweemba. We have different schools of thoughts.
And
You
the
can't
major-
impose
the
your,
ma-
you
the ma-
can't, you can't, you
the
can't
ma-
say your thought is a majority. That's
No.
a lie. There's no evidence. There's no research that has been done.
Let's see where we are going. Even within the PF, what will happen?
Anyway, as we wrap, still on this, as we wrap up, what should be done to ensure that our former Republican president is buried? Getting to 8 months now, our former Republican president is yet to be buried.
For me, the biggest problem is that the family, when I see the family of our former president, we are having a problem of leadership. There is no man who actually should have taken the mantle and say, this is the direction. That is where the problem is. Because I'll tell you that, my man, where we come from, in our setup as Zambians, a woman cannot be the one to drive the agenda. A child, even me, I cannot drive the agenda of my father's burial. No.
Who should drive?
The clan. Bamugowa. In Tonga we say Bamugowa. Where are the people, the family members of ECA was not just born alone, my man. He was not just, no. Where are the family members? Why we are having
It's the government that took them to court.
Took who?
The family to court.
Yeah, the government took the family. When you are talking of the family, why is it that the government today, when they are taking the family, they are taking the
Why take a grieving family to court?
Why take it?
A grieving family to court. Insensitive, right?
No, the government is just right what they did. That man cannot be buried in South Africa. He needed to be buried here.
Even when he is not wanted to be present, when President HH is not wanted at a burial.
In fact, that is the worst thing that someone can propose. My man, if I'm the general, okay? If I'm the general, I'm captured. The honorable thing that my troops should do is just to surrender. If HH is going to be told that don't be there, when he has not been, what is it that you are telling the troops? That no, the commander-in-chief is not there. He's at home. That's a coup, my man. Can't do that.
Mr. Mweemba, I'd like to appreciate you for coming. Many have said that, look, you seem to be a very good sympathizer of the UPND. Seem to speak so well of them. You are a paid, hired gun, Mr. Mweemba, by the UPND, possibly trying to look for some brown envelopes from the UPND.
Well, if he advocating that these good things that the UPND have done will give me that name, I would rather, or that shoe, I would rather wear that shoe, because, like I said, I have never in my life been so hopeful about the future of my country than the way I am now. So if other people are viewing me as a hired gun, I'm here to propose to the Zambians, particularly to the Gen Z, that please, Project HH is your project, and defend it, and defend it. If we had time, I would have told you a story of what happened in Rwanda. One man who went to tell the family that we are voting for ECL, the daughter stood up and said, Daddy, I have never disrespected you. I am going for HH. Because HH wants to restore our meal allowances. You are having difficulties to take me to school, to give me upkeep. The father said, my daughter, you can do that. The daughter went and voted for HH. And when HH became president, HH restored the meal allowance. And that girl, the problem that she used to call the father that I'm looking for this money, is no longer there. You, the Gen Z, Project HH is your project. Can we ensure that we defend Project HH so that we continue having more mines the way that mine which was closed 22 years ago in Kalengwa was opened. The Rwanda mine which was closed, the Kalengwa mine was closed in 1972. The Rwanda mine was closed 22 years ago, and the money has brought, under PF, by the way, there was no new mine.
I have no time. Mr. Mweemba, thank you so much for coming through on today's edition of Matters Arising.
Thank you, my man.
That's why we wrap up Akim Mweemba, governance expert, was my guest on Matters Arising. Thank you so much to the cause. And of course, your viewership, your patronage, the comments on the page, we do appreciate. I'm back again next week at the same time, 21 to 22. But also, don't forget, you can catch me every single day on Daybreak from 7:30 to 9:30 as I sit as a news and current affairs analyst. Poshing Ngong is my name. Good night.